Hi everybody, it's Honest John. About 3 months ago, the so-called IRS scandal broke. Oh, and it was terrible. The IRS is targeting conservative groups for Obama. But as the facts came out, it became pretty obvious that there was nothing to it. No, the IRS was not just targeting Tea Party groups. They actually targeted more liberal groups than conservatives. And Representative Darrell Issa, the most corrupt and dishonest man in Washington, tried to suppress the truth. Right? He was the one leading the investigation. And when the facts came out that he didn't like, he tried to cover them up. Finally, having had enough, Democrats on the committee released the transcripts and the evidence that showed clearly that Darrell Issa was lying. It is absolutely clear that the White House had nothing to do with what the IRS was doing. It is absolutely clear that the IRS was looking into all political action committees and not just Tea Party groups. As a matter of fact, no Tea Party group was denied 501c4 status by the IRS, even though they all should have. But there really was an IRS scandal, and finally something is being done about that. And the fat cats are real upset. See, here's the scandal. No political entity, whether on the left or the right, qualifies for 501c4 status as the law was written. The law says that status is reserved for organizations that only perform community service. So no PAC, no super PAC, no grassroots political organization or foundation, whether it's a grassroots one or one created by billionaires, actually meets the criterion for 501c4 status. The IRS has actually been acting according to a law that does not exist. So now, Representative Chris Van Hollen, a Democrat, has taken the IRS to court in order to force them to enforce the law as it is written. And if he wins, and the court rules correctly, all political action committees will lose 501c4 status. What does this mean? Well, billionaires are still going to be able to try to buy elections. They'll still be able to give as much money to whatever PAC that they want. But they'll no longer be able to do it anonymously. Those PACs and super PACs will have to reveal their donors. The American people will know exactly who's trying to buy a particular politician and how much they're willing to spend to do it. So yes, they can still flood the airways with attack ads, but a quick search will reveal who is behind the ads and what they have to gain from the election. Now think about it. The GOP has a huge money advantage. They had tons of ads all over TV, radio, and the internet, and they lost the presidency, and they lost seats in both the House and the Senate. So all that advertising was not really effective. Think how much less effective those ads will be if we all know who's behind them. And this is the thing that all those corporate bigwigs and billionaires were afraid of when the spotlight was focused on the IRS. They really wanted the GOP to not fixate, not put so much effort into that scandal, because they knew what the real problem was. And the only power that these guys have is their money. But they can spend all the money they want And if you take away the cloak of secrecy, everybody will know who they are and what they want. The Roberts Supreme Court thought they were giving the rich the power to steal this country when they passed the Citizens United decision. It didn't work in 2012 and will have even less chance to work in the future if Chris Van Hollen's suit is successful. It might actually happen that these wealthy elite will not bother to spend money on politics, and maybe they'll hire some workers, or maybe even pay them a decent wage. Thanks for listening.